Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Prima Advanced User Forum. This is Chris with Prima Software US, and I'm going to be your host this time. Today, we'll be covering some stock management solutions here. So, we're going to be covering stock taking, changing batch costs, editing reorder levels, and some stock management reports. Andrea is also joining us in the chat today. So, if you have any questions during the presentation, let her know there. Otherwise, we'll be hosting a Q&A session after the presentation. And this meeting is being recorded, so we can upload it on YouTube, just in case you want to view it again, or if someone missed something. But we'll just go ahead and jump right into it. So we're going to start with stock taking. So we're going to go to stock over here on the left, and then we're going to go to stock taking. So this is going to be the stock take lookup screen. This is where you're going to see all existing stock takes, whether they're completed or outstanding like this one here. To create a new one, all we're going to do is go to available lines over here on the right. And this is bring up a search screen so we can search for our product. You can also search for the quantity available for each product. So a handy tip is if you put in the greater than sign and then 0 and hit search, it'll bring up every product with available inventory in it. So that'll be an easy way to manage that. And then we also have this green drop down bar here. If we click on that, it'll open up some more filters, such as any product description or notes, any statuses. You can filter by particular bin locations or warehouses, so you can easily do a full inventory on that. But in today's case, I have one product prepared. So we'll be using this one today. You can select one product, you can highlight and select several products at once. But once you pick the products you need, we're just going to hit inventory take here. And that's going to create an outstanding stock take right here that we'll go ahead and double click into. So this is the stock take. This is what this is going to look like. The first thing I want you to notice is that we have our product code and we have individual lines for every product that's on the stock take. We have quantity stock and we have quantity confirmed. So quantity stock is going to be the amount of product that we have currently in the system. And then quantity confirmed is going to be what we can change when we're going to update it to once we hit complete. So by highlighting this particular line, we'll look at the bottom left hand of the screen here. We can see all of the allocations for the stock of this product. So we have one allocated for an order. We have 3 picked for other orders. We have 1 in just general stock. And it looks like we have 1 in unavailable stock. It's going to be for returns. It's going to be for returning that to the vendor. The only one we're able to update at this time is going to be the stock one. So we're going to highlight stock here. And then over here on the far right, we can see existing quantity and confirmed quantity again. Again, we can't change existing quantity, but we can update confirmed quantity to what we want the new one to be. So let's say we're doing our inventory and we have 4 available to us. So we can change that quantity confirmed to 4. And then we can also change the warehouse and bin locations if we need to, or add some notes. Otherwise, we can just click anywhere outside this red outline to go ahead and save. Then as you can see at the top, quantity stock remains at 6, but quantity confirmed is now 9. Since we added an additional 3 to our quantity confirmed, we can see the same change down here in our stock line. Additionally, we can add a reference up here at the top if you want to keep records of those. You can also change the batch cost right here on the stock take with this item here. So for example, if we wanted the for this additional 3 items that we're adding, if we wanted to change the cost to maybe $1.50 instead of the regular $1, we can change that here. We can go ahead and save. And then lastly, we have this add lines button right here, which will bring up the search, the product search again. And then you can add more products to this stock take if we need to add more. But otherwise, we can just go ahead and hit complete, and that'll confirm our changes to the quantity. And so that'll be a regular stock take. In addition to this stock taking area, we can also do stock takes at the requirements screen. So if we go over to POP requirements, if we hit search here, we can see that we have a couple new lines, or a couple requirement lines that we have. And for example, this top line, it says own inventory. We currently have 0 in inventory, but we need 1 for the order. And let's say we're looking through the warehouse and we find a couple stock in inventory that we want to add right on the fly. So all we need to do is highlight our one line, or you can highlight several lines if you want to, but highlight what you need, and then little bars on the way here. Highlight the line you need, and then we can hit stock take right here. And then as you can see, it just pulls up a regular stock take like we were looking at before. Down here at the bottom right, you can see that existing quantity is 0, and then automatically filled in the number 1 for us. It's because that the requirement line required 1, and so that'll automatically fill in that number for you. Of course, we can change this to be any amount of stock that we do have, but it'd be quick and easy just to hit the stock take button, and then once you're done, you can hit complete. And if we do the search again, we can see that we now have inventory of 3, and we have still requiring the 1 for the requirement. So we do have settings available also when you do the stock take, that it will automatically allocate this particular requirement line for you. Otherwise, we can just hit allocate to allocate that order. So that's everything about stock takes there. Now, we did mention that we could change the batch cost on the stock take, but if you need to change the batch cost at any period in time, we can just open up the product record here. We'll look for our MMM item from before. If we open this up here, it's going to be in balances over here on the right. And then it's going to be this batch records tab here at the top. Here we go. So it looks like here that we have current batches at the top. This is going to be each time we purchase the item, or each time we do a stock take on the item. It's going to appear up here. So this last line is going to correlate with the several stock takes that I've been doing throughout the day, which is why these numbers are a little bit different. But if you ever need to change the cost for these current batches, we're just going to double click on the batch you need to edit. And then we can change the unit price from here, from $1.50 to, let's say, $2 this time. Hit save and close, and it's easy as that. And then you can still see the unit price from the outside here. It's a quick way to manage that. So after changing your batch cost, we'll talk about setting up reorder levels. So these reorder levels are going to be keeping track of your stock, and it'll automatically prompt you to reorder certain stock at specified levels that you set. So to set that up, we're going to go to the product you want to edit, the product page here, and then we're going to go to the warehouse locations and levels tab here. At the top, you can see a quick way to glance at the current level of inventory that you have for the product. And then down at the second half of the screen is where we set up those reorder level settings. So you have to choose the particular depot you want to use. In this case, we'll just highlight the HQ depot. And then we have two types of reorder levels. You have type 1 and type 2. So this first type is going to be reordering a fixed amount. So an example would be the minimum level we'll set to 10. The minimum level is going to be the amount of, or the level of quantity that you have to trigger the reordering. And then the second option here is going to be the fixed amount you want to reorder. So let's say we want to reorder 50. So this setting here says that every time the stock quantity drops to 10 or below, it'll prompt you to reorder exactly 50 on a new purchase order. And then the second type over here is going to be to satisfy a maximum level. So similarly, let's say our minimum reorder level here, the trigger level is going to be 10, but this time we want to satisfy a maximum of 60. So what that means is every time the stock level drops to 10 or below, it's going to reorder as much as it needs to reach a maximum of 60. So let's say our quantity level reaches 4. It's going to prompt you to reorder 56 to reach that maximum of 60. So that's the difference between the two types. It usually only wants you to use one type. So to delete the other option, we can set everything back to 0. In addition to that, we also have the warehouse and the bin location, the default warehouse and bin location, I should say, for this particular product. And then we also have an option to select the vendor that you want to use every time you reorder it. So you have the option to choose the cheapest vendor that we have on file or the preferred vendor that we have set for this item. If we leave it blank here, it'll default to the preferred vendor as well. So to save those changes, we'll just click out of here. There we go. All right, so now that this is set, we'll check where this prompts you to reorder this item. So I'll minimize this here, and it's going to prompt you in the requirements area. And then down at the bottom, we have the inventory reordering section down here. And then at the top, you can see each item that you have available with inventory reordering settings set, that we have reached our minimum. We can see here that we have 4 available for our MMM item that we set. So now it's prompting us to order 56 to satisfy our maximum level of 60 that we just set. It'll also show you the vendor that it's going to purchase it from. Then also, if we tick this tick mark here, this will also include quantities for any outstanding sales orders that you have, since we're doing an order already. So if we go ahead and tick that on, over here on the left, you can see that this, what is this? This BSN item over here has one item. It's still an outstanding sales order. So it increases the quantity you order by 1, just so we can have enough to satisfy that order as well. But otherwise, you can click the items you want to purchase. You can highlight them all. It'll separate into several POs by vendor here. But for this example, we'll just pick this top one. We just hit the purchase button here. It'll let you know that a purchase order has been created for this one. And so now that's going to show up in POP orders as a new outstanding sales order. You can see that the reference is automatically put in stock reorder, and then this purchase order is going to work just like normal. I'll just go ahead and delete this for this section. All right, and then that's about it for stock reorder levels. Now is a pretty good time to remind you guys that Andrea is still in the chat. So if you have any questions on anything we've covered so far, just let her know there. But lastly, we're going to take a look at some management reports. So if we go over to reporting and then reports, I'll bring up all of our reports. It's important to tick these two all and all settings here, so that'll come up with every single report that you have available to you. First, I want to look at the stock valuation report. So if you see, we have two of them here. If you look in the far right, we have one that says format report, or report format, and then one that says spreadsheet format. So the first one here, the report format, we'll double click into that, is going to be a report that's in PDF format. And this will give you a breakdown of everything, or all the items that you have available, that you have stock available for, I should say, broken down by depot and then also by allocation. So this first page is just the summary of everything that you have. You can see that we have current value and you have batch cost. So what that means is batch cost is the current cost that you have associated with your products that you purchased, the batch area that we were looking at before. And then current value is if you were to purchase those products today, what the cost would be. So if we scroll a little bit to the right here, it'll give you a breakdown line by line of all the quantities you have available to you, as well as the allocation, whether it's allocated here, sitting in awaiting return, or in general stock, I think on this page. So this is a neat and tidy way to take a look at everything. So that's the report type. We have the same report in a spreadsheet format. So if we open this one up here, we have the same report, but broken down by each stock code. It'll show you the quantity that you have available to you, as well as some categorization options here, the status of each line, whether it's picked or in general stock, etc., as well as all of the cost information associated with those products. So the most useful tabs, in my opinion, is going to be this first tab. It's going to show you everything. And then the other one is by warehouse location. And so this last tab here is just going to organize it by the stock status and the warehouse location. So everything goods inwards, it'll show you everything that's allocated, everything is waiting a return, sitting in general stock, etc. But feel free to look at all the available tabs and categorizations that we have down here. And then we also have the ability to automatically email these reports to you on a regular basis. So if you want to set that up, we can email these reports to ourselves maybe once a month to remind you to check up on those, that kind of thing. And then lastly, I also wanted to take a look at the reorder level analysis, this one right here. It's another spreadsheet. If we go ahead and open that up, this report is going to show you all the items that you have reorder level settings set up for. Of course, it's going to show you each stock code. It's going to show you the reorder, or that's the unit over there where we look at. Here we go. So you can see the minimum level set, the maximum level set. All the reorder settings are going to be in here. And then as well as the far back, where are we? There we go. So we have a stock status section here. So this will let you know if particular items are slow moving or, normally moving at a regular rate. Um, since this is a practice database and not many orders are placed, they're all going to be set to slow moving. But this will give you a good idea of any products that maybe you want to change the reorder settings on. All right, and then I think that's everything I have to show you guys today. Thanks for tuning in. We'll host our Q&A session here now. I'll go ahead and prompt everybody to unmute themselves and let us know if you have any questions or if you have any suggestions on improvements we can make to these systems.